Welcome, travelers, to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable. For when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.
Since the beginning of time, there's always been death. Death of stars, death of planets, death of entire galaxies. And born alongside time was us. We've witnessed the birth and death of every star, every planet, everything. We've wondered at the brilliant colors of space and the universe, unsure of our roles for eons. Then, the first souls arrived. We watched in amazement as the dust of dead stars and planets gave form to new life that would one day cross our paths. The souls of planets, creatures, insects, living on billions of planets. They were small. They would drift along the waves of the cosmic space until one of us found it. The little balls of energy would drift in our boats, then take on the form they had in life. They were often minuscule and would sit quietly in our rafts as we carried it to the next chapter. We don't know what lies beyond the doors. All we know is we are the shepherds of the dead, and our only reason for existence is to guide these souls to the land beyond death. Every soul has a door that floats upon the Black Sea and will only open when the right soul comes to it. Once a soul is carried to its door, it will enter, and the door will collapse in on itself, sealing the gateway forever. We have never tried to follow after a soul, curiosity not existing within our being. All we know, is collect, guide, and deliver. I am a ferryman, if that is not clear already. I have been since the dawn of time, and will be long after time has stopped. I carry souls to their final resting place, and for millennia, that has always been the case. Then, the first human soul entered my boat. Out of all the souls that crossed the deck of my boat, human souls leave the longest impression. Some are completely impossible to forget. That is the case with the first human soul. It was bobbing over the waves, a ball of brilliant green energy. My boat slid up alongside it, and the little ball floated to one seat. When it touched the wood, it took on its life-given form. It wasn't like a modern human, and I believe it was one of the first of its kind. The first primate to stand up on two legs and stay that way. I knew it was a male, considering all the other male souls I had seen before it, but since it was the first, I was unsure of its age. Now, after guiding countless human souls to the great beyond, I can confidently say it was around the age of an adult male. This was probably the oldest they got at the time, considering all the monstrous predators I had seen before this. When it took its place on my boat, I was presented with a new emotion I had never felt before. Every soul emits the emotion they are feeling, making it nearly impossible to lie to a ferryman. This soul produced emotions no other creature before it had. Emotions that at the time had no name. Emotions like confusion, doubt, anger, and sadness. Its monkey-like face peered out over the sea of space, and I could see recognition in its eyes. This was the first soul, who knew it was dead. It didn't speak, as words did not exist, but it grunted softly, and tears floated from its eyes. I pushed along my raft, and let the current guide us to the next place. The whole way, I dissected the emotions laid out before me, and observed the new character. Its knees were up to its chest, and its long hairy arms were wrapped around them. I could sense fear, an emotion I had sensed many times before. I had no words for it, no pity. It was dead, and there'd be more after. We floated along the sea of black stardust for a long time, it surveying me, and I watching it. No words, no sounds, just emotions. After some time, a door came into view at the tip of my boat. Slowly, the boat creaked up, and the tip knocked softly on the wooden surface. The soul before me turned and looked wide-eyed at the opening doorway. It hesitated for a while, looking from me to the door, then back to me. Then it stood, and with feet still not steady on two legs, entered the door. With that, the souls of human beings began to glisten across the sea, and I, along with my fellow ferrymen, guided them all to their next life. Human souls are the most common ones that I come across, always seeming to find me out in the vast ocean of the universe. I don't remember all that I've carried, but there are certainly some that stay with me even now. I am a ferryman, and these are the stories of the dead. The Ferryman, Part 2. The Soul of Mr. Quincy Rogers. The colors of purgatory, as many souls have called this place, have an endless palette. Often when alone on my boat, upon the Black Sea, I look to the horizon and admire the spirals of clouds of cosmic space. I have seen many things. I'm sure no one else ever has. Many things that would destroy a mortal soul, such as the case of a Mr. Quincy Rogers. Time is not relative here, so saying that it was like any other day has no meaning. I was drifting on my boat, gazing at the large spiral off on the horizon that held a brilliant color of purple and green, when his soul appeared. It was a large, flat red blob, not much like a flame like other souls. It dripped red pus, and I wished it would not settle on my ship. Alas. It sloshed its way over the side of my gondola and splattered on the seat. It then took the form of a very overweight man who could scarcely see me over his round tum. The boat tottered for a moment, then I pushed off and let it guide us towards the horizon. I don't speak to souls. I have no interest in mortal lives and unfulfilled wishes. Yet, souls still feel the need to speak to me. This soul was one of the few who never stopped talking long enough for me to answer. Where am I? Who are you? What is this place? Are you death? Are you Satan? Are you God? Where's Mary? On and on the questions came, and not a single one I answered. Not that I didn't try. The man just wouldn't stop talking. If he had lungs, I'm sure he would have ran out of breath after the 10th or 12th question. I pushed on, the soul rocking my boat as it appeared over the side and over again, still muttering its pointless questions. I had all but tuned out the noise when one question brought me back to attention. What's down there? Can I get back to Earth that way? The fat monstrosity before me was leaning heavily to the left, threatening to flip the little boat over. His beady eyes were peering down into the black abyss below, and I could see phantom sweat beading his large forehead. Before I could give any form of response, the beast's soul rolled itself over the side and plummeted into the blackness below. I waited for my boat to right itself, the wooden raft rocking back and forth violently as it attempted to balance out. Once it was steadily upright, I peered over the side and witnessed what happened to those impatient souls. He plummeted into the abyss. Then he was caught by one of the things that lives below. I watched as his red essence was torn apart and devoured by countless shadow monsters. It wasn't long before every trace of him was snuffed out, bits and pieces of him filling the bellies of mindless animals. These creatures have been here even before the universe was born. They occupy that dead space, and once that first glimmer of light appeared, they started to devour. They were older than time itself and held an endless hunger. Once a soul steps onto my boat, they cannot leave until we've reached their final door. If Mr. Rogers had waited just a moment longer, I might have stopped him. Might. Now his soul exists no more, and no afterlife awaits him. So, be the case for any impatient soul who dares leave my boat too early. I don't mind either way. My soul isn't the one being torn apart and erased for all eternity. Tonight's story was part 1 and 2 of The Ferryman by LoneDonut. If you enjoyed this story, please check out their Reddit, as they are a fantastic author and I am excited to do more of their stories. Hey, did you know I have merch? Yeah, it's crazy, right? But I do. So if you like to walk around representing my realm and gaining me new travelers, the links to my merch store, as well as all my social medias, will be in the link tree down in the description below. As always, I'd like to say a special thank you to all my lovely Patreons. 242 Reads, Rando Calrissian, Pam, Seraphine, the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Mia Mina, Philia Noctis, Hair Raising Narratives, Spooky Boo Scary Story Time, and Breaker 19, also known as Lycan Trucker. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers by lighting my fire, you can do so by becoming a Patreon as well. Just remember, the support is always appreciated but never expected. Please don't forget to hit that like, comment, share, and subscribe if you're new, and ding that bell for all future content.
But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.